My name is Josiah Lamb. I was only 12 years old when something happened that changed my life forever. It started on a normal 4th of July weekend. My family was visiting my sister's house near the water. Everyone was laughing, swimming, and doing what we always love to do, water sports. Nothing about that day seemed unusual, but within seconds, everything would turn into chaos. I was riding a jet ski with my brother-in-law. I was sitting in the front. He was behind me driving. We were moving fast across the water, laughing and enjoying the ride. Then suddenly, he accelerated hard, like he was going to spin the jet ski around. But something was directly in our path. A thick blue boat rope stretched across the water, the kind used to tie a boat to the dock, and we were heading straight toward it. There was no time to stop, no time to turn. We slammed directly into the line at full speed. Just seconds before the impact, something impossible happened. The sky lit up. Time seemed to slow down. It was as if the world paused for a moment, and then I saw them. Angels. Not the small, soft images people paint in pictures. These were massive warriors, huge, powerful. They carried flaming swords and stood like soldiers in the sky. They looked strong, like warriors prepared for battle. And in that moment, I heard something I had never heard before in my life. A voice, clear, powerful. A voice that seemed to come from everywhere at once. It said, "Put your hand up, Josiah." I didn't think about it. I didn't question it. I simply obeyed. I lifted my hand up just as the jet ski hit the rope. That simple movement, one small action, would save my life. Because when the rope snapped across my body, it slammed into my hand and fingers first. The impact shattered 2 of my fingers and tore my arm badly. But the doctors later said something terrifying. If my hand had not been raised at that exact moment, the rope would have sliced directly into my neck. At that speed, it would have decapitated me instantly. Back at the house, my mom suddenly heard shouting and screaming from the water. Something was terribly wrong. When they pulled me from the water, my body was limp. My neck was badly torn open. Air bubbles were coming through the wound. Blood was everywhere. It was a horrifying sight. My dad rushed to my side and held my head on his lap. Even though everything around him was panic and chaos, he spoke calmly to me. "Josiah, don't worry. Everything is going to be okay." Those words brought a strange peace in the middle of the storm. At the hospital, doctors realized how serious my injuries were. My airway had begun to close because of swelling. They had no choice. They placed me in a medically induced coma for 24 hours so my body could survive. The doctors weren't sure what would happen next. My family could only pray and wait. For 4 long days after the accident, I could not speak. My throat had been too badly injured. Then one day, in the hospital room, my mum was sitting beside me. Suddenly, I looked at her and said something that stunned her. "Mum, you can talk?" she asked in shock. I nodded. Then I said something she would never forget. I saw angels. And then I told her about the voice that said, "Put your hand up, Josiah." When she heard that, she knew something extraordinary had happened. God had been there. Before the accident, I believed God existed, but I thought of him like a distant judge, someone who only punished people, someone far away. But after that day, I realized something different. God wasn't distant. He was real, and he cared enough to save my life. After I left the hospital, something new began happening. I started telling people my story. Everywhere I went. At church, at youth groups, to anyone who would listen. Then something unexpected started happening. People began asking me to pray for them, and when I prayed, things started happening. People said they felt God's presence. Some said they were healed. Even my parents were shocked. They went to the youth pastor and asked, "What is going on?" The pastor simply said, "This is real. God is touching people." One day during a mission trip in Baltimore, I saw a man in a wheelchair. He was homeless. As he rolled past, something inside me said, "Pray for him." So I walked over and asked if I could pray. The first time I prayed, he said he felt something. The second time, he said he could move his legs. I thought that was amazing. But then I prayed again, and I said something simple. "God, that's cool, but can we make him walk?" And after that prayer, the man slowly stood up, and he walked. That jet ski accident could have ended my life. But instead, it became the moment that revealed something powerful. God sees us, God hears us, and sometimes, in the moment we least expect, He speaks, not because we deserve it, but because He loves His children, and He doesn't want them to die.